Look, bro, I'm gonna say something real. The United States government is not doing enough to bring Brittany Griner home.
Chicago's own Chance the Rapper has a message for the Biden administration.
I'm not just saying it for fun. She's living this life right now in a foreign country. That's a black woman, a tall, lesbian black woman, a champion, an important person in a lot of people's lives as a personal person, and I believe the United States government could be doing a lot more to bring Brittany Griner home.
And guess what? This occurred at a free concert during the WNBA All-Star Game in the city.
Free Brittany Griner! The United States of America got a lot more work to do to bring her home!
He, like many others, are calling for Brittany Griner's release and putting pressure on the president, Joe Biden. Just days ago in Russia, where Griner has been held, the 8-time All-Star pled guilty to bringing vape cartridges into the country. She was set to play for a Russian club, as she has done for many consecutive years. It was a plea that was expected, even if there remains doubt that she tried bringing hashish oil into the country. If convicted, she faces up to 10 years in prison.
Initially, I was told, just we're going to try and reserve, we're going to try and handle this behind scenes and, let's not raise her value and, stay quiet. And, I did that. And respectfully, we're over 140 days at this point. That does not work. And so I will not be quiet anymore. I will find that balance of, harm versus help in pushing our government to do everything that's possible, because being quiet, they are not moving. They are not doing anything. And so my wife is struggling, and we have to help her.
Brittany Griner's wife is through with keeping quiet, as many were skeptical of doing in the first place.
Before you go, have you heard from the White House since the letter was delivered to President Biden? In her letter, she says the first time she voted was in 2020, and that vote was for President Biden. Have you heard from him?
I still have not heard from him, and honestly, it's very disheartening.
Here is what Griner wrote to POTUS just last week.
She wrote, "She's terrified she might be there forever." She went on to say, quote, "Please don't forget about me and other American detainees. Please do all you can to bring us home." The
United States has stated, and even as far back as I believe May, that she has been wrongfully detained. Finally, on July 5th, the president acknowledged he had received Griner's letter, one she penned from a Russian cell. Then Joe Biden replied to Griner's letter and continued discussions with her wife, Sherelle, assuring her his administration was doing everything it could to secure Griner's release. Biden followed up with the letter.
As a result, he did write her back, and I was able to read the letter, and it brought me so much joy, as well as BG. I believe every word that she said to him, he understood, and he sees her as a person, and he has not forgotten her, which was her biggest cry in her letter.
Win with Black Women, a collective of thousands of leaders trying to make a difference, then followed up with a letter of their own for Griner, urging Joe Biden to make a deal for BG's release. The collective said that nearly 1,200 black women leaders in various fields, including entertainment, media, and sports, signed the letter, which was delivered to the White House. It claims that Griner is enduring inhumane conditions in prison and demands that Biden take concrete action to this ongoing human rights crises. This letter was delivered to the White House on July the 4th. In Chicago, Griner was named an honorary All-Star player this year, and every effort was made to spread awareness of her situation, wrote CNN. Before the game, Griner's name was announced along with a graphic of her, while her initials were displayed courtside. Players also emerged in the second half with jerseys donning Griner's name and number on the back. Even before play got underway, League Commish Kathy Engelbert opened her presser by mentioning that bringing Griner home remains the league's priority. Griner's wife was in attendance at the All-Star game and said it was always going to be difficult being around basketball without my wife being present. Instead of being treated as a national sports icon, she is being used as a political pawn, wrote Yvette Dion. Even the GOP's House Judiciary Twitter account waded into the fray. The fact that Griner is being used to boost former President Donald Trump is especially ironic, given that conservative legislatures have filed more than 670 anti-LGBTQ laws since 2018 and nearly 240 this year alone. Political tensions between the U.S. and Russia are high because of Russia's decision in February to invade Ukraine, which has received billions of dollars in weapons and other resources from the U.S., and the administration has not made public any strategy that it may have to get Griner back from Russia. Speculation in Russian state media has suggested a prisoner swap involving Griner and Victor Bout, a Russian arms dealer serving a 25-year sentence for conspiracy to kill U.S. citizens and providing aid to a terrorist organization. But U.S. officials have not commented on the likelihood of such a swap. In April, U.S. officials secured the release of former Marine Trevor Reed from Russia through a prisoner swap. And here's the thing, and this is a jaw-dropping statistic. The Washington Post reported an estimated 99% of criminal trials end in guilty verdicts.